We will be going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. It is currently 8 a.m. like normal. The temperature outside is, of course, I didn't have that one thing pulled up, 47 degrees out, and we have a high of 69 today, almost 70 degrees. So, light jacket weather for the morning, but I don't think you'll need it later this afternoon. We ran to the gym this morning. It was pretty nice out. It was a little on the chilly side, but it was solely because of the wind. The wind blowing made it cold, but if you were just outside, like I was wearing a hoodie and I was just fine hoodie and shorts, and Chad, you were wearing like a pullover
T-shirt,
long sleeve T-shirt type
It
thing.
was
You weren't
definitely a little colder for me wearing a long sleeve T-shirt, so I would definitely say light jacket, hoodie weather.
Definitely. So, but yeah, that was running though, and we were obviously hot and sweaty. So we ran to the gym. That was better. The trip back was cold because we were still sweaty from the gym on top of being out in the colder wind. But it really isn't that bad out. So just keep that in mind as you plan your day. Traffic conditions are pretty fair right now. A couple of minutes ago, the 76th Street entrance ramp kind of had everything at a standstill, but it's not like that anymore. Traffic is flowing pretty steadily into Tulsa as we speak, so your commute should be good if you haven't left yet. So commute to Tulsa is looking pretty decent. Enjoy your trip in. As far as local events goes, not a lot has changed on the calendar. That Drip Bar is still having their grand opening. That's Thursday at like 2 to 3, right?
Let me pull it up for you real quick. Let me see here. All right. Well, the Drip Bar is the 7th, and that is happening at 2 p.m. to 2:30, so it's only a 30-minute one.
Okay.
So 2 to 2:30. The Chamber monthly meeting is happening this Wednesday on the 6th, and that is always, as usual, at 12 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be Coach Blankenship speaking at the luncheon.
Isn't this his retirement speech?
No, it's just him talking about things. I doubt it's a retirement speech. I'm pretty sure
he was retiring.
Said he could be, but I doubt it. So he's got decent record, so no reason.
That's true.
And as for that, that's all there is on the Chamber side. On Owassoisms, same as what we read off the other day. The 75th anniversary of the Tulsa Garden Show. That's going to be Friday. Yeah, it's going to be basically Friday all the way through Sunday on that.
Mm-hmm. And what about the theater, the Little Shop of Horrors?
Little Shop of Horrors.
When does that start?
That is also Friday.
Okay, so it's
the 7th.
all weekend.
Yeah,
so
it's 7th through all the way through Sunday. Little Shop of Horrors, and that's at the Owasso High School. The only thing that's happening this week that's not on repeat for the rest of the weekend is Lori Fulbright at the Faith Lutheran Church at 1 p.m.
Okay. So go check that out. Those are your local events coming up here in the Owasso area. So get involved, be a part, and if not, try to plan out something more interesting or something that you like doing on your weekends. But I think that Little Shop of Horrors and the Home and Garden Show will be two pretty decent ways to spend your upcoming weekend. So keep that in mind. Now, as far as national news goes, the only real big thing that we can think to talk about would be the Supreme Court decision on whether or not Trump should be allowed to stay on the ballot. And it was a unanimous decision. They all agreed that Trump has the right to stay on the ballot. Of course, that triggered some shockwaves from the left-leaning side of the aisle, despite the fact that some of your justices, they're pretty wildly left, but they're interpreting it through the law. And the law is supposed to be unflexible and unyielding. And if that's a decision that they all unanimously came to, then I don't know why everyone is fighting over this. I mean, if you're fighting this decision, then you just don't care about the rule of law. You don't care about how our society works. You don't care about anything other than your self-righteous sense of right and wrong and whether or not you want somebody to win or lose. So I don't understand what the flip out is. I mean, again, those Supreme Court justices are not just left wing; they're pretty far left in a lot of their decisions, especially like someone like Sotomayor. So I don't understand what the big hullabaloo is about from the left. But again, like I said, the left is great at overreacting. They're great at being very, very loud and obnoxious. Whether or not it bothers them, and I'm sure it does bother them to some degree, but it's just so comical how wild their or gross their overreactions can be. So I'm excited that this is the decision that they unanimously came to. It seems like it makes me enthusiastic. It's like, wow, the Supreme Court hasn't had a unanimous decision or agreement that they've reported on in quite a while, it would seem like. I don't religiously follow the Supreme Court and all of their decision making. I don't know if they unanimously agree a whole lot, and if they do, cool. But that's a good thing for, I think, our country, and it's a good thing for the Supreme Court, the fact that they were all able to rationally come to this agreement together unanimously. That's very, very interesting and very unique, especially with how polarized our society is and how polarized they always make the Supreme Court seem.
Yes, the only reason that it would even seem that Trump wasn't even supposed to be on the ballot anyways, because of all these just local or state, attorneys, attorney generals, arbitrarily going after
applying
him over.
What was it, the 13th or the 14th Amendment? Or
I'd have to go back and double check, but it's in all their cases are all falling apart.
Yes.
All of them are falling apart, and they're finding out either the people that are, whether in one case it's somebody it's a corrupt attorney doing very shady things, as in with what's her name, the Fannie or
Fannie Willis,
Fannie Willis,
mm-hmm.
her with her, paying her boyfriend or whatever you want to call it, supposed boyfriend, more a higher paycheck than the rest of the attorneys.
The whole thing about Fannie Willis is she didn't care whether or not Trump was guilty or innocent. She was going to make, that was what she ran on. She goes, I'm going to make a case. I'm going to make up whatever, I'm going to make whatever crimes I can apply stick. Like, that's not what justice is. Justice is you put a case together if you have a case. You don't go out looking for a case. That's what we call ambulance chase in lawyering. But I mean, not even in that case. She's going out and trying to criminally prosecute somebody who hasn't done anything criminally wrong. She literally took a statement. He goes, yeah, we got to look and see if we can't find those votes. There's probably some missing votes in that county. She's like, oh, he's bribing and he's doing this and he's doing that. She's stretching. Yeah. But that's what she ran on. That's what she got elected for. So, I mean, at least she's like, the only thing I can say to steelman her position is at least she's running on
She's running on what she promised.
She's running on what she's promised. But again, that's going against the justice system. She's basically running against the justice system. She's running against truth. It's like, it doesn't matter what the law is. I'm the law now. She ran so she could get in that position so she could be the law, so she could write the law, so she could enforce the law how she sees fit. So that's what's scary about all this. But I'm glad the Supreme Court came to this conclusion, and I'm glad that a lot of these that these states are being told that, yeah, no, he has to stay on the ballot. You can't arbitrarily remove him because you're enforcing whatever the insurrection amendment is incorrectly. So this is it's a good thing. Like I said, and if you guys think, I mean, what are you worried about? Trump lost to Biden before. What are you worried about? I mean, most of you are saying, oh, Biden has been doing a great job. If you think Biden's doing a great job, then what does Biden have to worry about? But if you know in the back of your mind that he's not doing a great job, or that maybe we're not in as strong of a position economically, politically, or militarily as you want us to be, then maybe, just maybe, you know that you're lying to yourself to make yourself feel comfortable. That way you can still have someone who you like on your political side in power.
Yes. And I would even take it a step further is I don't think anybody who's not like millionaire status, not having to worry about money ever, can say that we're doing great economically.
Oh, yeah.
So I can't get out of the grocery store like under $100 anymore.
Yeah.
where I could easily just go to the grocery store for the week and be under
I mean, you like
$60
your
easily.
list of groceries typically just comes down to eggs and occasionally some milk and
Cleaning
fruits and
material,
vegetables and cleaning materials.
shaving materials. That's really about it.
Yeah, so that's pretty wild that you can't get out of the grocery store, under $100 anymore. That's pretty crazy. But like I said, this is the state of America. I mean, my girlfriend bought a home not too long ago, and she split the cost between her and her sister. And to me, it's maybe a $250,000, $300,000 home 5 years ago. Now it's a $400K home. It's not a big. I mean, that's almost a $500,000 house. It doesn't, to me, looking at it from my perspective 5 years ago, I'd be like, that is not almost a $500,000 home. It's not big enough to be a $500,000 home.
Doesn't even have much of a backyard.
Doesn't have barely has a backyard. It's just a 4-bedroom house. Not even that big. It's not a bad house. I'm not crapping on the builders. The builders
I thought
did
it
a
was
fantastic
3
job.
with like an office space.
It is, but
Turn
it's
into a bedroom,
technically a
basically.
4-bedroom is what I would call it. But it amazes me that's the price that they had to pay for that home. Because it shouldn't be. I mean, that shouldn't be more than a $250,000, $300K home max. In my opinion.
A lot of that has to come to just Owasso being such a booming area.
It is. We're a booming town. We're a booming. It's just a hot real estate market right now. But still, that we shouldn't be pricing out millennials and Gen Z or Gen X, or is it Gen Z? Or I think it's Gen X.
Yeah.
Out of the housing market here. I mean, we want young couples moving into this town. But I mean, unless you have already, you just are working in oil, you already have a successful career. Buying in this economy is a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
So with that being said, the only other thing that we can kind of discuss is they're trying to put up legislation that says any illegal we catch coming across the border can be conscripted into the military, which that's a scary thought. You want people who aren't loyal to this country, who probably aren't here. They're only here for the economic benefits. So they're going, oh, well, we'll make them earn their economic benefits by being in the military. But what happens when they run away or go AWOL? It's like, do you think they're going to handle getting yelled at by a drill sergeant very well when they can't even understand the language? So is that we're going to have a bunch of drill sergeants, and we're going to have translator drill sergeants with regular drill sergeants now? And what happens if we send these folks out to war? I mean, unless you were just talking like they're going to be like South Park, Operation Human Shield, their morale is going to be low. They're not going to want to fight. They're not going to want to do the job or the MOS that you put them in. They're not going to give it their all. They're not going, and like I said, yep, there's what. So, but as I said before, these people are not going to be motivated to fight for this country. So let's say we put them out in the lines of Ukraine. Let's say we go to war in Ukraine, or we go to war in the Gaza Strip and help Israel out, or something along those lines. Do you think they're going to be like, give me that rifle, I'm here to fight for America? Or do you think that there's more of a chance that they'll be like, I surrender immediately and I will happily give you up whatever intel about America and let me live here in this country and just don't hurt me. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. Whatever classified clearance they gave me, I'll tell you. I'll tell you where the bases are. Like, they don't have loyalties or ties to this country. What are you going to do? Be like, hey, we'll let you stay here if you give us 4 years of service, and then you can... Like, the people who I knew in basic training, the people who were foreign nationals who came to America, you know what? They had to renounce their citizenship in whatever foreign country that they came from. Now, whether or not they actually mean it is something that I will never know. I can't see into their minds. I can't read their minds. But they willingly signed their name on this paper that says, I renounce my citizenship in whatever foreign country I'm from. I'm here to serve the United States, and I'm here to become an American citizenship and become an American citizen and be a part of this country. And a lot of those guys, like I knew a guy named Lopez. He had a little girl, had divorced his wife, had a little girl. He goes, he joined so he could get his little daughter benefits. You know, like, good for him. He joined and did something that the best way he knew how, and he was going to get benefits for his daughter so he could help her with their medical issues. Great for them. They're motivated to be there. They chose that job. They chose to be there. conscripting people walking across the border, like these Asian nationals from China, these Latin American people from all over the country who aren't, they have no real care for America. They don't, like, I'm not going to be like, they're not going to be excited to be like, oh boy, military service, hooray. Some of them might. Not saying all of them, but do you think the vast majority? Heck no. And how are you going to enforce that? Like, so is that what you're going to do? They're going to cross and be like, put them on a bus?
Yeah. Well, here's also the other part, too. I mean, I don't know if they would force them to do, like, solely infantry or something like that, but most of the ones I met who were foreign nationals were doing MOSs that were non-combat oriented.
They were mechanics. They were 42 alphas or stuff off the battlefield.
Yeah. Fuel suppliers, stuff like
fuel,
that.
Yeah, fuels, yeah.
There's a bunch of MOSs or jobs in the military that don't require you to be combat arms, but that's what you're going to need in a fighting force is combat arms.
And you need highly motivated people. People who, again, there was a kid, they just caught that one kid in the Navy who was selling secrets to China. He was like a American Chinese kid.
That's right.
Chinese American, and he sold secrets to China for like $10,000. Nothing. You can get a bonus for signing up more than that. That's the thing. Like, these kids are willing to sell these secrets because they feel no ties or loyalty to the country. We have to bring back some level of patriotism. And you think throwing illegal immigrants into the service is going to make a patriotic armed forces unit? Absolutely not. We need to find a way to motivate people to love this country again, be proud and patriotic of this country. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on in the military that's making people want to jump out left and right, whether it comes down to this diversity, equity, and inclusion stuff where they're promoting people because of DEI, or you have, like I said, these high-ranking officers coming out and saying, accept trans people for what they're. It's like, you're in the military. We only care about performance and whether or not people can do their job. I don't care if you're a guy, girl, whatever. If you're not doing the job and you're not meeting the standard, you're letting everybody else around you down. It was the same way in basic training. There's dirtbags, scumbags that you're just like, I cannot stand this kid. Like, he's a crybaby. It's like, this is not super difficult, what we're doing.
Yeah. You at least need to be able to haul your own weight. Because if you're that person that is making everyone else carry most of your burden, you're a hindrance. You're not helpful. At least if you're just doing the bare minimum, at least you're just moving yourself across the line.
And what happens when these guys can't effectively communicate with the people around them? I mean, I had a hard time communicating with some of the guys who were from Puerto Rico because they could barely speak English. Now, I still liked them all, but there was a slight language barrier there. I would have to like look at one of the other guys from Puerto Rico who was better at speaking English, and I'd just be like, what do you say? So that's just kind of how it is. So that's why, I mean, the Army's great, though. Don't knock it till you try it. A lot of great people, a lot of fantastic people. However, I'm not sure this is the answer to our recruiting problems.
Definitely not.
So that's really about all we've got for you today, folks. It's just interesting times we live in, interesting times. You can never say that you live in a boring moment in history anymore. So I guess you could probably have said that maybe in the 90s, I suppose, but yeah, no, that's about all we've got for you today. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. This is the Twins with the Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. God bless everyone out there.